Happy Saturday, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Now, there are major warning signs for national home prices, even as they're rising right now. I know it's crazy. We're going to hear some alarming leading indicators about where the housing market is headed from people way smarter than me. Just see if we can glean what the heck is happening. Even as Nashville prices are skyrocketing, not everywhere, there are already parts of our market that have completely turned. And I need your help figuring out why, okay? Because I can't believe that I'm saying this. Even as we hit a ton of warning signs, active listings are up year over year, contract volume is down year over year, our market could be hitting a 12-month price high in the next few weeks. And guys, this is why you have to be careful, because the past is the past, okay? That's why we look at what's happening. We look at what's driving prices. We look at leading indicators. We're going to take a look at the Nashville month-end data. You're going to get it here first. Before Greater Nashville Realtors releases, before Redfin, before anyone, I spend a lot of time making sure that I know what's happening in the market before anyone. Okay, so I can forecast. I love to forecast. But the truth is, more than 30 days out, nobody knows what's going to happen, okay? Perfect example was last spring. It was shaping up to be a disaster in demand, okay? Active listings were kind of not there, but the demand was really crumbling. And then BTFP happened, okay? The Fed started expanding their balance sheet and boom, demand, all right? So I have no doubt in my mind that if the Fed was reluctant to step in with their Sunday night announcements, we would have had a financial crisis last year. That would have brought all kinds of deflation to the housing market. So we know they will step in and risk inflation to have financial stability. It makes this housing market almost impossible to predict. Okay, so if you ever hear me forecast, just know nobody knows. I don't know, especially the National Association of Realtors, they don't know. And Lawrence Yun, who consistently forecasts a drop in rates, I'm sure they'll eventually be right, but it'll probably be next decade. At least that's my forecast. There's no better proxy for froth than Carvana. You want to know if the market is frothy, just look no further than Carvana's stock price. Guys, this is an unprofitable zombie company. It's up 750% in 1 year. They can't pay their debt, so much so that they held their creditors hostage and forced a debt relief package that the S&P equated to a default. So it makes perfect sense that they would be up 750%. Of course, you might have seen this headline, they got their first year's profit. That's because when you extinguish debt, it's considered income. So their biggest source of income is forcing people who loan them money to forgive it. Not exactly the best business model, if you ask me, but it does speak to the froth in this market. This is not unlike the disaster multifamily I covered last week, where they're doing the same thing. Okay, they're not paying interest on their new subordinate loan, and they promise they'll pay it back sometime next year. Wink, wink. Okay. Just so you know, the market is frothy in a lot of places, and this does feed into the housing market. But the most important value that I can offer you is making sure you understand the market we are currently in. Okay, so that you can be armed with data when you decide to buy or sell. Now, my name is Ethan Flynn. I'm a CPA that discovered real estate, and I am hooked. I love it, and now I'm helping people buy and sell using the most data-driven strategic methods. Now, I focus primarily in the Davidson-Williamson County, south of I-40. Even if you aren't in that area though, I'll connect you to a superstar agent and we'll still provide you with that data analysis you're looking for. So you'll get data analysis second to none and still a great agent that is a superstar in the area that you're focused on. Without further ado, let's get into the data. Okay, first things first, we have a solar eclipse 2024. It's in a month. Just so you know, that's really exciting. I'm kind of excited about that. So if you don't know, big full-on solar eclipse coming in a month. That's fantastic. Okay, here we go. Look at this title. Need to sell your house? It's time to hustle. Okay, that's brutal, guys. Listen to this line in this article. I really wanted to highlight this. Listings of home sales are now rising at a seemingly accelerating pace. Guys, did you hear that? That is insane. This is what happened in 2022, right before the massive crash in prices. There was a huge rise in prices, and it was followed by an acceleration of active listings, preceding one of the biggest price drops in over a decade. We aren't seeing that in Nashville right now, okay? We're starting to see cracks, especially in Davidson County, but the outer areas, especially Williamson County, are on fire. And guys, it's not just location. Price bands are also having an impact. We'll get to that in a minute. But let's keep going. New listings climbed 12.9% in the 4 weeks ending February 25th on a year-over-year basis, the biggest increase in nearly 3 years, according to real estate data brokerage Redfin. That's pushing active inventory higher in many markets. It's rising particularly quickly in South Florida, with Punta Gorda and Cape Coral, Fort Myers both showing a more than 100% gain from a year ago, according to Lance Lambert of Resi Club, which provides research and analysis on the housing market. Okay, so listen, guys, we are starting to see active listings explode, and this active listing explosion could impact prices. It hasn't yet, but it could start impacting prices. Now, listen to what Mike Simonson says of Altos Research. He's seeing the same thing. He calls it a softening, and to be fair, he's right. Okay, this isn't a price drop. Inventory of unsold homes subsequently increased this week for the first time all year. Okay, price reductions ticked up too for the first time since November. Some of the home prices signals are softening as potential home buyers are faced with higher for longer mortgages. Okay, guys, we are entering a spring on a very uncertain and softening market, even as we get a seasonal boost in prices. So let's take a look at GNAR. Okay, prices in January closed at 460. Okay, remember, this was up year over year, 2%. February is going to come in around 475, up 3% month over month, and almost 6% year over year. Now, keep in mind, these are strong numbers. They're just shy of the home price peak of $499 in May of 2022, but we could continue to see prices go up. Now, I'm forecasting for March that prices will continue their upward trend towards 485, 475, 485. It'll be another 3%. And again, we're still going to be shy of 3 to 4% down from where we were in May of 2022. Okay, so down from the peak, but we're still moving up pretty strongly. Now, look at the active listings though, guys. It's up year over year by 5%, even with some of the noise from the end of the month. Contracts are down almost 200. This is definitely soft in Nashville. And this is where we need to get hyper local, because if we look at Davidson County, Nashville's core, this is the center of Nashville. Look at the difference between Davidson County and Williamson County, Nashville's most expensive county. We can see that active listings in Davidson are up almost 300 listings, while contract volume is down. This is demand. Contract volume is demand, down 100. Versus Williamson, where contract volume is up 8% year over year. Okay, this makes me think the massive increase in median price could be driven by mix versus an actual increase in price, okay? People that are less sensitive to interest rates could be buying, while people that are more sensitive could be slowing down. This mix change means that it doesn't necessarily mean that prices are going up. It's not conclusive yet. However, there are some areas with strengthening home prices. Now take a look at this map. These are new builds. Any idea where the strongest price appreciation is happening right now? I'll tell you one place that I'm seeing it, and it's just north of Franklin, guys. 0 new builds, okay? It's a great location between Franklin and Green Hills. Sub $1 million, houses are flying, okay? Multiple offers, multiple bids, competitive prices. Guys, these neighborhoods are moving up in value rapidly. Okay, now let's move on and take a look at some of the comments I received. Let's dig in to those neighborhoods. Okay, guys, here we go with the comments. Ethan, you are the best real estate analyst covering Middle Tennessee by far. Hey, thanks for that. I really appreciate that. Jennifer, we live in Nashville, really enjoy your weekly updates. We want to move to Franklin, but can be flexible with timing. We're interested in Fieldstone Farms and Cottonwood. Jennifer, I will tell you, that is exactly one of the areas that I was just talking about that's so hot. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to go to my data tracker here, and we're going to move to Fieldstone Farms. You can see that, let's just take a look at it. I just refreshed this. Let's look at Fieldstone Farms first. Now, the first thing you need to know is prices did drop for Q4, but I can tell you right now that they're moving up. Okay, and we can see, you can't really see it. You can see that low in Q4, $214 a foot, but they kind of troughed around the $250 mark, and we're seeing a lot right now. They're going to go north of $300 a foot, closer to that $350 mark. So you can see they're starting to close up here. We're really $250 is the floor. If you can get something for $250, that would be awesome. Well, we've just seen multiple offers in this area. So just expect in this area to have multiple offers. Let's take a look at total price. So this is sales price. Let's take out the townhouse condos, and you can see the floor here. You can see some go for 400, but again, the lower priced houses are starting to move up, and I would say most are going to go north of 600 if it's a quality house. Now, there's one that's assumable in that neighborhood, and if you pick that one up, it's under 500 right now. It's you can look at it; it's assumable. So to me, that's good value. You know, year-over-year volume has been very slow in Fieldstone Farms. So the fact that it is starting to tick up, volume is starting to happen. You know, if more sellers come out, then it could change the dynamics. But right now, it's been pretty strong. January, February, very strong for Fieldstone Farms. Now, let's move on to Cottonwood and Meadow Green Acres here. You're going to see this northernmost road right here is really a part of River Landing. So you may see a little bit more expensive houses as we look at this. But again, prices dropped in Q4, guys. Seasonally, Q4 is the time to buy. And here you can see, again, prices are, I would say there's quite a few active. I don't know why, and then none under contract. That's actually surprising. I think the market dynamic has changed even in the last week. Let's just take a look. Okay, so we can see it looks like it's slowed down quite a bit in here, guys. Look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 in Cottonwood. Let's see how long they've been on the market. I'm just going to zoom in here because it'll take out all the other ones. And 1 in Meadow Green Acres. Oh, days on market. There it is. Okay, days on market. We have 1, but everything else has been on the market. We have 2 that have gotten on the market this week. The others have been on the market for at least a week. So it does look like things may be slowing down over here in Cottonwood. This is a good sign, guys. This is actually a really good sign because the inventory has been very tight over here. And the fact that there's nothing under contract right now, if you look at the 12-month, they've sold 29 over the past 12 months, okay? But we have 6 active listings and none under contract. Guys, that's an interesting softening sign even here, even as there's super tight inventory. That's an interesting sign. So maybe things are slowing down because, guys, they were hot January, February. So I'll tell you one other neighborhood that's been super hot, and that is right over here off of Royal Oaks. This neighborhood's been very hot, and look, it is extraordinarily hot with only 3 active listings and 5 under contract. We just sold one in this neighborhood. And of course, I thought it was a high price. And I told the buyer that. I said, I thought this is a high price, but we sold it. And you know what? The truth is that this neighborhood is heating up big time. A lot of multiple offers happening in that neighborhood. So it is neighborhood by neighborhood. Let's go to my next comment here. Let's see if we can do another one of these. Okay. Can you do 37206? Yes, I'm working on it, but I don't have it added. I will add it so you can see this neighborhood. I promise. Thank you for asking. Keep going. West Haven and Franklin Green. We have done these, but let's just do them again really quick. Just a quick update. West Haven, again, very hot, 226 with 35 active listings, 17 under contract. Guys, this is a tight market and it's moving rapidly, but look how stable the pricing has been. Just so stable. Not moving up, not moving down, and it seems to be very steady. Look at the price bands. You can see it's all pretty consistent. So West Haven right now is very stable. The contract volume is stable. Everything about West Haven is stable. It's like the most stable place in America, I feel like. It's crazy. Going over to Franklin Green, we are starting to see active listings tick up. And when you look at the 12-month close volume, 76, that gives you about a 3-month supply. But look at the 10 and under contract really only gives you about a 2-month supply. So this is actually, I don't know why I guess it's neutral because 3-month supply, but this is actually a little bit tighter than it looks. Let's take a look at the price trend here. You can see it dropped in Q4. Certainly people are trying to push up the prices, but it looks to me like they're just going to stay in that band that they are between 200 to 300. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with those other ones. I did not add Smyrna. I'm going to add Smyrna. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. I promise. I really want, if you have something you want to see, I want to do it. So keep asking. And these are the areas I'm going to add next. Rutherford County, Murfreesboro. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate it. Lockwood Glen, Franklin. We have that one. Let's pull it up. Okay, Lockwood Glen. This is a little bit broader than Lockwood Glen, but let's take a look at this area. Price trend has been really, really disaster over here, guys. I'm going to show you Lad Park is just tanking. I don't know what's going on. I think it has to do with them banning rentals also, along with the new builds. That's just speculation. But you can see, look, these were going for $300-400 a house. You can see they have dropped rapidly. Look at that high just drop, and you can see the price band is tightened very much so below $350 a foot and really under $300 a foot on a lot of these. Okay, so this one, we've got 2 under contract at like 330 a foot. Oh yeah, those are all the new builds. Of course it is. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I want to check. Okay, so unless you're a new build, you're really getting pushed under 300 a foot. This area is surprisingly very soft. It's very soft over there, guys. If you were looking in Lad Park, I will tell you there's a floor. There was one that I thought, I sent it to one of my buyers and I was like, dude, this is a good deal. It was a little bit high on price for the neighborhood, but it was actually a really good deal. It went under contract immediately. Yeah, there it is. There it is. This one, great price and under contract. It was $250 a foot. $250 a foot. So obviously I hadn't been to that house, so I can't speak to the nuances of the house, but that did catch my eye. It was $250 a foot. You can see it's the only one under contract. Everything else, they're still trying to sell at last year's prices, $327 a foot. You know, I mean, more power to them, but I just don't think it's going to happen. It's not $342 a foot. These guys are just going to sit there, and they have been sitting there for a long time. Look at this, 34 days on the market. It's still sitting there. Okay, your Lad Park is getting very soft, and you can see it in the data. You can see those are bouncing off some of the lows, but it is not looking good in Lad Park, guys. It is not looking good. And with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next Saturday.